now Zeus is going to play Waylay, and Yetajay is going to play Deadlock. How fun.
I mean, we saw the last week that this Waylay was already coming in from Zeus. We love to see the changes being made. And of course, the same way that we expected BBL to be bringing in changes to Ascend when we saw them picking the map, we kind of have to expect the same for FUT going into Icebox.
Yeah, I mean, it's been quite a couple of weeks since they last played it and since they last lost that map to Gentlemate. So yeah, of course, we were expecting them to switch things up here. Yetajay on Deadlock is very interesting for me. That's not something that we've seen this split whatsoever. I don't know if that's something that we've seen whatsoever.
One
time.
One
time. I think he's only ever played it once.
Yeah, but I love to see that Krax is going to be sticking to that KO. It fits him so well. It's going to give them a lot of leverage. I think that he had an amazing map one, not only the clutches, but definitely having the impact. You have 3 initiators on the other side. You have 1 knife, and he was finding a lot of impact.
Well, I can't wait to get back into this game. We theorized that maybe it was going on for so long that Tom actually grew his hair back. So let's see if this is true. Mitch and Tom, can you confirm?
Tom, any comment? I mean, I can see, and it does look like you've sprouted a couple more hairs on top in the meantime. We'll have to get the razor up here if we get another one of those.
Sure, why not?
Start hearing the chafing on the headset.
I'm hearing a lot of things. I'm hearing voices. Like, I think I'm losing it at this stage. Do you know what? The great thing for me is that we got to watch Krax have the same experience as Mitch's teammates in ranked, which is dropping 40 and still losing. So we'll see if they're going to be able to turn the tide as they head into their map choice of Icebox.
What the hell was that for, Tom?
The truth hurts.
That did hurt. That was a deep cut. As we're moving on into this, the last time BBL won against FUT was in January 2022. The only remaining player from that match is Mr. Fallen. It's quite a while ago indeed. But Tom, when you're looking at this matchup, the last one caught them off guard. I know Yumpy was saying right at the start of the map, he went, I need to pee, but I'll hold it for this one. Well, that was unfortunate timing for poor Yumpy.
Hey, he held it
to the toilet.
I respect it. He held it for 2 hours while screaming.
Yeah,
that was impressive.
That was actually just panic.
Yeah, that was nothing to do with the game.
Hurry up! Well, FUT on the attack side, already closing in the distance and
under a different form of pressure here,
giving him a little bit of a break in this round. Late rotations through mid, 3 players on their way, and the retake will be underway any moment with an aggressive position from Zeus. He is put to bed early. Levin, the one to take the limelight. Magnum from up top puts the numbers in their favor. No panic now, although time is ticking. They should be able to put the pressure on around this elbow. Yetajay, good for 1. The second player on site backing him up is out of captain, and together they close this round out.
Yeah, I think an important start for FUT. I think we've witnessed it many a time. I think even thinking back to Gentlemates when they lost, what was it, 18-16 to FUT. They just got blasted in the next map because obviously there's going to be exhaustion on both sides, but one team won. Yeah. So you basically are going to sat there and play for 2 hours, ultimately to have to try and win 2 maps back to back. Like it's not worth the investment at that stage. So for FUT to immediately try and find a response, I like the fact that they've come in with a new comp. I think of all the people I've seen play Waylay, Zeus was by far the best. Thinking back to his Lotus aggression, he was fantastic. And knowing that if you win this map, next is Fracture, where I'd say they're favored. Like, the series isn't over if they can get past the mental part of that last map.
Well, the thing that makes me believe it will be different, if this was a group stage matchup early on, sure, I could see players, oh man, one more map, and then we got to fight for Fracture. It's a long journey back, and you start to feel quite sad about how things went before. Nice little shots from Magnum. The reality is, though, the stakes here are high. If Team Liquid lose their matchup, this could be the difference between first place and, well, between playing 1 game to make it through to the international and having to go that little
Don't
bit
replay
further.
that.
No, we don't need to
I mean it this time. I know that we like the memes. We're not showing that.
They're getting a few more picks than I'd like here. 2v2.
They've got a gun as well.
Already done onto FUT. Although down goes Sociable in what could be the longest range classic fight I've seen attempted in a situation like this.
Toxins going up.
And his first full accuracy is normally impeccable. So I'd be nervous. And the only thing that could play into FUT's favor here, other than the player advantage and HP, is that they paused. doubts will be in the mind of Profek at this stage of, okay, have they rotated? Have they gone back into the other direction? The answer was no, but Mr. Fallen is going to win that fight anyway. 2-0, a solid start for FUT, even though that round was very costly. And now we look at the rifles coming up here for the opposing side.
It is still good damage out of BBL, leaving just 2 players alive, and the potential for that to go a little bit further as well. As the rifles come out on BBL, you know, we look back at the ice boxes they've played, and to be honest, you know, looking at rounds on the board, I feel like this is somewhere I'm wanting them to put up rounds on the defensive side. With FUT early on the board, 2-0, if they can get momentum in their sails, this new comp as well, maybe catching them off guard, could very easily be a 3rd map on the horizon. Cracks onto 11, finds himself one as Adaptation has to hightail it out of mid. A lot of utility chasing him down, and Magnum focused on the wrong target, almost loses his life.
Considering this is more of a bonus round, this is looking pretty dicey right now. Mr. Fallen's going to upgrade to a rifle as well off the pistol. He's only 1 away from getting his ultimate, but oh, that's a mistake. Cracks has peeked mid with a spike. Now retrieving this shouldn't be too difficult. Adaptation's going to take the deep space, make sure that nobody's been able to push past, but that's at least something. And now they've had to give up a lot of the space that they previously had. Profek, the site anchor on B. It's just going to be jiggle peeking, but the rest of the team have gone the other way. They have got the read completely wrong.
40 seconds and delay still available for Profek. It's going to buy them that extra time. BBL getting to reset and potentially have 3 players on site ready for the fight. The benefit, Yumpy contains that push around from Adaptation. Now leaves Mr. Fallen isolated with a player to his back at least. Yedege now the last man standing, 15 health.
Not planted.
The element of surprise maybe plays into his favor with it not being planted for him, but Magnum checks it anyways. All the boxes ticked, and a round fought well by BBL. The upgrade as well off the Outlaw. They're going to walk out with 3 rifles.
Yeah, that's really not bad. Like, I think especially with the way the round started, with Levin being caught out, and I'm sure that's something that FUT have done their due diligence on. Like, think to the last time that we saw this map played versus Koi, Levin was basically just being cheeky the entire map. Like, how much can I get away with? Like, diving into sites, taking aggressive angels, and on defense, he was pushing that A site a lot to try and garner that extra control. So I want to see if he's going to continue to do that now that he's been immediately countered in the first buy round.
Well, it is very much a sign of what's to come, right? We're back in game, and take a look at the pushes that were gone for early on. Up against a bonus round, it's very risky to go that deep, to double up on the aggression as well. You're likely to run in to the numbers. BBL throwing in that bit of aggression early on to catch FUT off guard. They get around, and Levin's got an opening pick from up top. Yumpy with the transfer of dreams, flashed himself in, and as a result, the round is theirs.
Wow.
But they fall flat here with an in-zone flawless from BBL.
Oh, that's gonna hurt. Like, you came into the round with solid ultimates online, with rifles that were purchased up, and you get basically nothing for that one, the initial fight. But then this flash, it's literally a god flash, caught 2 players completely blind. And Yumpy, well, after a much better start than we saw in the last map. Like, he had a really rough initial display on the attack side.
Push through any doubt.
But individually, looking stellar here.
Now leaving FUT with next to nothing. That's the other thing. Falling flat in that round. They got pistols, stingers, but on the attack side, even harder to make that work. They'll group up, use the numbers to their advantage, and here it would be a mistake from BBL to find that same aggression that they did in round 3, to go up towards Nest, to push down deep mid, but they don't.
Where's he going?
Well, they don't.
Where's
Say
he
a
going?
Sociable jumps up top. The first fight is whatever, but I'm not sure about that aggression. It's worked out for just 1 death, though. He's the only one to fall, and I think they can be quite thankful that's the way it went.
Did you know he went? He went, oh, Profek's on A. I can die. It doesn't matter anymore. We've got our site anchor here ready and raring to go, and well, a nice little cleanup for Profek that will get him ever closer to the ults. And that's the thing. The spread of kills is actually very, very good for BBL to have a lot of ultimates online all at the same time.
It's the fact that he jumps up top, takes the first pick, and then is like, I'm gonna take more fights here. And you know they're probably grouped up.
And you're going for eco frags.
Yeah, how's that work out for him?
He's got to farm up those ults. You'll say that, and then he'll ace around. You'll be like,
So glad he went aggressive there,
Yeah.
Tom. What a great play.
Oh, speaking of aggression, Profek has gone walkabouts.
Oh my goodness.
He's bypassed everybody, but well, a nasty surprise with Zeus able to get a very easy early pick. Not the way they wanted to start that one off, but then again, I say that, they still have 3 players dedicated to this B site. It seems like the only goal was to play retake. You have the lockdown available. And maybe having the expectation that, okay, if they've got Annihilation and Armageddon online, they're going to go for some sort of execute with the ult, so we don't want to be on the site.
It's a fair call. I mean, with them already having the pick, I'd still say it's decently likely they use some ultis to go through, Alarm Bot to delay, Turret to spot, and then Nanos to actually stop the plant. It's a really nice setup. And see the value it's going to have here. No chance to dive back site. Lockdown goes into play. 6 seconds left. The ult is going to be sent in after it. The plant found just on the edge as well.
Oh.
Look at the swing. It's a free pick for Magnum. They still end up smelling the roses in that play with a 4v4 as a result. Old pop, swing in though, and it's Magnum getting that little bit more. But the second side of the push is being slowed, stopped as Yettage found one. Nade trades him out too. But Krax is left alone thanks to the salvo. Stun just misses. He's caught one above, isolating the fights. The wraparound spotted, and he stopped the defuse at least for now. Sociable needing to put the pressure on time-wise. The tap making it to half just about, but he's looking the wrong way. A Red Bull clutch for Krax and an equalizer for FUT.
Yeah, he's been having an unbelievable series. I mentioned the sort of 40 bomb that he had in the last map, which still resulted in a loss. And we were talking at the very beginning of that series 3 days ago about how the fact that he hadn't had those crazy performances, but we've been seeing it here. Some real individual prowess in rounds that FUT needed it most. Yeah, I think our tech guys are also a little bit better than you.
A little bit, perhaps. There you go. Oh, Arcu briefly played for FUT and even faced BBL in the grand final of First Strike Turkey. That was a long time ago. I remember coming to the studio.
He's a bit like Sol Campbell then. He's betrayed.
Who the hell is that?
So Sol Campbell is a player who played for us or played for Tottenham and then went to Arsenal. So all Tottenham fans hate him. So
Fair enough. Get that bag, man. That's what it's all about. Levin going aggressive makes a bit more sense, not up against the eco, but they've seen this play before, not ready for it. He grabs one, the flash fades, but
fine.
So does he. 1 for 1, and the res up on Krax completely nullifies that fight. Yumpy going in, and now they've
Oh, no.
They did!
What?
They did! See him! A phantom! And he's managed to find himself a triple with the Vandal. Yettage and Mr. Fallen, they should have been set up for a certain round, and instead, it's a 2v2.
He was hit by the convergence part. He was playing in slow motion. You shouldn't be able to do anything with that. It's like an ultimate breach stun.
Someone to give the set
Well,
away.
the difference, though, is that the B site is completely open. So there's already a full rotation. Mr. Fallen is currently doing his best Nat cosplay of how is he there, and has to try and basically get himself into an aggressive enough position without giving the game away. He knows the turret's on the other side. BBL are not moving.
Just an ingenious strategy, though, isn't it? 2 players take one by one fights. You have the KO flashing for him as well. So you think, well, there's hardly a 3rd guy there because he would have swung with them. Oh, well, listen, you are wrong.
Oh, he's full sprint. Oh, okay.
Mr. Fallen's got him. Profek giving away the cues, and now Magnum with it all to do. He's heard the steps running away, even gets tags onto Yettage. Unfortunately, Yettage's got the upper hand now, halfway diffused, but the swing comes in just in time. And a well-handled round by FUT, but you have to wonder, how did Sociable get so much done in that initial fight?
He's just watched the Matrix a lot of times. He understands how slow motion works. Just able to get an absurd dump from that position. But no, it's again, those quick mid-round adaptations. Realizing there's a gap on the other side of the map, and well, for BBL, the 3-round streak, kept it clean, is enough for them to still have a purchase going into this round. Operator, even in hand for Levin, and with the Viper's Pit taking deep.
One suppressed.
B control. I wonder if we're going to see this push through. No, instead, look at the defense. They've already taken very deep control, and over the top goes Zeus, but he's decided to fall back. I think that was probably due to the pick onto Levin. You don't really need to make the hero plays when you already have the man advantage.
Well, that's exactly it. The Viper's Pit, though, is going to be a problem late round, so they send the drone through to try to deal with it. Player's ready to take the fight if he's up close, but as they're spotting now, it's a little bit further back. Great work as well from Profect to keep dancing around this utility, avoid being dropped, avoid being caught out. His left side covered in by the alarm bot as well, so there's no need to panic. The thing is, these rotations coming through, they're not spotted because of the orb up, but they are spotted because Yumpy's gone up aggressive, got himself the opening right over Belt. Now these players are expected to be coming this direction, ult activated, and no utility for FUT to use on this take. It's got to just be swings, and well, at least it's working out for the first.
This is how we end.
Ults being spammed, forcing them forward. They expect the one position that couldn't have been cleared. Sociable looking for another hero play, but again, he'll be slowed. Has Yumpy for support, leaving two standing. Salvos will deny them that little bit longer. Sociable even looking to try and take the fight. Another of those stuns put into play. Just 10 seconds left, but the aggression working out. Sociable drops the spike and continues alongside Profect. Another very solid round from the Turkish player, leaving that 4-4.
Yep, it's back and forth we go. The lead never lasting long in anyone's hands. Again, that early play by Yumpy to get aggressive, it gets them so much value. Then he's there to back Sociable up. After the stun comes through, Sociable was dead to rights.
Let's go!
But he survives.
Bro, insane, Volkan. You are Messi.
He has a way with words, Tom, doesn't he? This man, there's a good reason they call him the submarine.
Oh my god.
Can we get that again after this round? I want to see if I can understand it the second time round.
He said at the end that
You're
you're Messi. And I'm assuming he means the footballer and not just you're not very clean.
Yeah.
Because you're insane, but a little bit messy.
More controlled, perhaps.
The weaponry kind of sucks. Viper's Pit could be the difference maker. Flash, solid space taken. Zeus has done well. Again, the disruption caused by the Waylay, but Sociable is still here, not for long. Trade's almost immediate. That Viper's Pit is becoming more and more tempting by the seconds, and it will go down. Magnum hoping to try and find a gap within it. Hoping that the spam can maybe get something, but it goes the other way. A flank coming through. Never with a sniper. Probably hoping that he can find another gun. Instead, it's Yumpy to get one with the spam.
Shorty on its way, and it's found out of Captain. Pit goes down, they saw Mr. Fallen. They saw him step into that corner, and he's so desperately low. A conversion for BBL around that. I mean, you mentioned it though, Tom, the real danger, once that Pit goes down on the site, that can completely flip the odds in their favor, defending the spike inside of it. But enough damage was done to let that Shorty draw blood.
Yeah, I don't think they expected both players to wrap around. So you have that deep pit, so if anybody jumps into it, they have a split second to find you and you can see them immediately. But when they come from the other direction, firstly, there's not many angles to hold, but also, yeah, there's only one or two places that Levin's really going to be checking. Of course, still does incredibly well. From that sort of angle,
I'm gonna get heart attack.
I'm going to have a heart attack. I got that one.
You got that one.
I got
one
that
off tail ult as well, he called. He knows that that's a good chance that FUT might fight for the orbs early on, Tom. They're one away from a valuable ult. No doubt that's something BBL are tracking.
Either that or he's having a jam tart and he's going to have a tart attack, but I don't think that's what he was saying.
I don't believe so, Tom. But there's no telling when it comes to Magnum. Sociable, good for the pick. They were looking to push him out of that position, got more than their bargain for. Ult sent through by Deadlock, but it's a little late. The player's already gone, and Ada Captain lurking outside A. Surprises Magnum. A 4 versus 2 now. The remaining BBL players making the read right away that this is a rotation to the A site. They're going to be here well ahead of the push.
I almost wonder if
It's a great read.
we'll see that. Maybe the Armageddon for safety. Clear the back of the site, but it's the close position that's far more dangerous. The knife won't connect.
Free.
Yumpy right in position, and it what?
That was
he
him!
got both of them. And the third as well. What? No, I need a slow-mo replay. That's the most BS spray I've ever seen.
He wasn't aiming at the second guy!
You didn't believe, you thought it was a teammate.
It was the second.
You thought
I was like, oh,
it was a teammate.
great crossfire there, Tom. Wonderful crossfire. What a setup. What a set.
Spike down A.
Oh, that's outrageous.
pause. Get on that man's PC.
Let's go!
Oh man, okay, the one perspective, they don't use the ult, they don't put the util because they think that those players are still on B. They don't expect them to be there, but Pal saw the same thing I did. What just happened with Yumpy? 2 bullets. The second one it was a heat seeker.
Do you remember the meme that was going around where people are like, oh yeah, like, do you mind if I put on some white noise before I go to sleep? I just want that meme with that Yumpy scream. Like, it's so ridiculous how he's managed to get away with that. And yeah, an impeccable read on the rotation.
I'll tell you what, guys should be a whole lot less mad if he could have seen that replay. If we could can we just go show him that?
This is like smiling rage.
He must know. 2 shots that quickly, you're like,
it's fine.
Yes, bro.
No, this is like when your girlfriend or wife goes, it's fine. No, Mitch, it's fine. This is fine.
He hit his breaking point now. Yeah, let's 3 people swinging 1 by 1. But that's the thing, the first 2, I can't blame. They're not swinging alone. He's just genuinely, he's cracked the code.
He's gone mental. Like, this is, you lose 25-23, and then that happens, you're like,
he's gonna, but when he watches it back, he'll be less mad. Or more mad. I actually have no idea how that's gonna affect his psyche. That's ridiculous.
Mad? Me? Why would I be mad?
6-4. A 2-round gap between these two, and what should have been neck and neck. A 4v2, a 3-piece from Yumpy. He's on his feet. He's screaming back in the other direction. He's letting FUT know that he's set to bury them. Their record in partnership, 2-0 for FUT every step of the way. Dominance in those series in a BBL that looked like they had no legs to stand on. Well, this is a different BBL we're seeing here today. They've claimed FUT's former home ground, and now they look to beat them on their own map pick. But an opening pick gives FUT the advantage. And I'm sorry, but the BS meter's off the charts. Profex got one in the spawn, the spray through the wall to catch one. And FUT tagged up heavy on a lot of players.
I don't know if they'll expect 2 to be here. That's the only thing. The attack really want this back line, and well, it's already looking done.
They don't know.
They don't know the sociable's here, but he can't just take 1 kill. He needs to get a multi-frag, and the second he fires on 1, they'll all be looking his way. That's the problem. So many players in this backline. Yumpy needs even more BS than the last round. I don't think it's going to be happening. A net laid to keep him in position, and a swing that will put FUT within 1 round.
I like as well that it's Crack swinging, because he already knows where Yedege is. So he's going to be set on that angle, waiting for the swing. 6-5, and a round for FUT that is much needed now. Equalization possible by the time we hit that halfway mark, but BBL streaks of 3 rounds. They've really found their footing on this defensive side. And again, this is the map that FUT come in picking. We talk about the attack side, Tom. Did you come in with a number in mind for how many they needed to get? It was 6 in their last matchup. But a weaker defense.
Yeah, they had a weaker defense. I'd say probably 7 or 8. Especially with this composition. The Waylay gives you good opportunities, but I feel like at times, a lot of what you have with this comp is about setup and catching players. On the defense, that can be much harder to do. I'd say as well, a lot of what you get out from Deadlock as well is I feel like it has more of a benefit for the attack in comparison to the likes of a Killjoy on the defense. So I'll be interested to see how they make it work. That's probably where they workshop more though. Profek up above, bullets connect, but no pick found. He went through. He went through the Viper screen. He's looking to just fight tooth and nail, and they've kept the man advantage going.
Lockdown sends them back. There's no way that Krax is getting out of here detained. And with deep control over B, as we're seeing with this push-up, Yumpy's got all the control in his hands. Levin watching his back as well, making sure the mid lurk can't come through tube or under. And then obviously you've got an alarm bot sitting there watching for that push-up alongside the turrets. Well, not anymore. Taken out by the utility of Krax. Ult sent through as a response. Players just standing either side of it. 20 seconds and it's all down to the delay. Out of captain, 36 HP. Man advantage for BBL. They've seen a player up on the rope, hung out to dry, and Levin quickly closes the round. That's BBL All right, 11. BBL finishing out this half with 7 rounds on the board. And for FUT, well, they better hope that they've cracked the code of the defense, or this is going to be a 2-0, as it always has been between these teams, but in the other direction.
Yeah, so BBL's chance here, and FUT with a desperate need for a response, but if we've seen anything, sometimes the expectation of what you'll get on a map is absolutely meaningless. Let's just wait and see what we'll get after the break.
Welcome back, folks. 5 rounds on the board for FUT as they move to their defensive side. The standard set high in that first half, as this, at least on what we saw last time, was their weaker side. But if you were to go on history, Tom, if you were to go on last matchups, Ascent wouldn't have been 25 to 23. So
with
maybe we
attack
throw that
side
book out of the window.
victories for the majority.
Exactly.
Of it, so.
It's been hard to read these teams.
I'm interested to see what they've got, because I think like you've kind of lost what could have been the Yedege anchor, but obviously last time around on this map at least he was playing Teo, so that wasn't necessarily his job. I think he's going to have more of an opportunity to do that here, as you can see over on that B side of the map currently. And for Zeus, you're going to have a lot of expectation of an aggressive Jet, but with Waylay, you're not going to have had as many counters. I think about the amount of times we've seen Jet play on Icebox. It's probably on like something like 70–80% when it was back in the day when this map was played regularly. Waylay, a much lower chance. So maybe there's a few surprises that Zeus can throw into the mix.
This pistol round could hold a lot of value, especially for FUT. I think in the game we're referencing as well, where they got, what, 4 rounds in this half, 2 of them were the pistol and the follow-up. So it was a very shaky position, but no doubt they will have learned a lot from that match as well. On the defense, heavy rotations stacking up towards this A site, leaving just one Yedege on B. And it will be a passive play from him, presumably spotting out the players in just a moment and backing off, conceding that space.
Yeah, the BB execution doesn't really leave him with anywhere to go. Levin, the flash is perfect. Jumpy with the setup for the young duelist once again, but they have not cleared the one man left within the site. A chance for Yedege to spring a trap. 2 quick kills. That aggression was so successful for BBL, they didn't realize that there was still one man lurking in the grass.
Again, it was the one that they spotted to start this one out. Just figured he'd fallen back that a little bit further, but no, Yedege is still here. Unfortunately, he needs to do it all. A 3-piece already. 2 away from the ace, and he isolates the first, spots the second. Oh, it's close. 50 HP
Salvos
left on Sociable, but Salvos come back online. That's going to buy a little bit more time, and in this round, with it already bleeding so deep, he should be able to run this clock all the way down. Sociable, he may even give the ace in the end, but the time is gone. BBL, they've stolen the pistol round away. What an attempt by Yedege, though.
Yeah, no, he played that to perfection. I don't think really anything more can be asked of your solo B-site holder. You managed to survive within 1 million pieces of utility. Your teammate gets cleared, you find 2 kills to grant the site back to your control, and then it came down to, okay, can we just clear the remaining 3 players? He got 2 of those as well. So I'm kind of looking at the rest of the FUT players and going like, what more can he do? Really, what more could he have done? Well, aced. That was what more he could have done, but that's a bit of an outrageous thing to ask your solo B-side player to do.
First man in, last man out of that previous round. But FUT left in the dirt now. Classics across the board, no shields. That makes it very easy for Levin to drop you. Sociables wallbanging Mr. Fallen. Haven't seen him cross the window. Yedajay got up to some magic with this Classic in the last round, albeit they didn't have 50 shields, and well, they're not coming towards him this time either. It's back to the B site, all that space taken by Magnum, and that's going to be a lot of what we see from BBL on this side. Pressure in one part of the map, and Magnum either watching their back or left to lurk and claim all the space as the rotations come in.
Goal of this round, at least from FUT's perspective, was to get an orb for Yedajay, which he did. And Death will put the Annihilation online. Whether or not they can cause any extra damage for Sociable, he's going hunting. Now bear in mind, he is only 2 away from having the Armageddon.
And you may recall that he started this round out right around here, wallbanging someone with a Guardian. Now, he's got himself a Stinger because Magnum swaps weapons with him and says, you go get your orbs. Now, that orb's going into the hands of Yampi, like it or not. But he waited as long as he could, just in case Sociable could get there in the end. And in zone flawless for BBL, a perfect follow-up. And honestly, looking at the buy they've got, Tom, it's not like they're in a very disadvantageous situation. The one really weak weapon that they're going to have is a Stinger. That's in the hands of Magnum. He can play Lurk and information, doesn't have to be fighting. And the rest of the squad, Bulldogs, an Outlaw, and a Guardian, that's fine.
Well, I'll say as well, Magnum is like one of the few players where I see him have a Spectre and I'm like, he's still going to get a kill. Like, he's weirdly ratty.
What about the Stinger?
Yeah, it's another SMG. Normally he has a Spectre. So,
oh, no!
Oh, that's a table breaker. That's one where you're going to be incredibly frustrated in a round that you just cannot afford to lose. Yedajay, too many players, too many targets, and no shots connected. This could be the round already over. Yampi taking aggressive positioning, and he goes down, cracks with a quick double. Somehow turning this round all the way back on his own. Dragging his team kicking and screaming. Before it was Yedajay, now it is cracks. And from a almost one scenario, the round has come right back once again.
The funny thing about this, Tom, is we started out the day going, yeah, Cracks, you know, this year just doesn't feel like he's there in the KO, man. No. He's not hitting the same form. Well, he certainly is in this series, in the last map, and coming into this one, at least this round. The 2v3 still gives BBL an opportunity, a chance to take this across the line. The reality is, Tom, you come into this round, you're going to take a 2v3 with Spike and a fully open B site. As you're pointing out, thanks to going for those orbs in the previous round, thanks to planting and getting those kills, Sociable is 1 away from his ultimate. And that could turn the tide of a round as tight as this.
My ultimate is ready.
Salvos already available. Stun still online. A snakebite as well for Prophet, but he's not looking to really utilize that extra bit of kit. His goal is to try and get up in their face, try and catch them as they rotate, or maybe have a bit of an off angle, and that off angle will be had. They have completely bypassed him and just not checked some of those closer angles. It's definitely a surprise factor. There's the ultimate, which, while sticking this, he's just about going to live to tell the tale. But now Prophet looks to come back in from behind. An easy pick and a beautiful post-plant from the side of BBL. They make that look very easy indeed.
And really building upon the foundations laid thick in the previous rounds. The ult orb management, the early fight from Levin, a position that he tried to get into many times on their defense. Zeus, a pale imitation of that map control, as now 10-5 on the board, thanks to the salvos, thanks to the ulti in play, and the great position seized by Profek. Cerebral gameplay. And at this point, double the rounds of what FUT have brought to bear, and leaving FUT onto a very weak buy. It's a Sheriff and nothing else, a practically full eco. This is the beginning of the end of this series.
is isolated. This is a very ratty position, but now he's been spotted. They're going to look to swing him together. That Sheriff has come into play, and the Spike needs to just leave. Retrieving that gun, definitely not going to be easy, but that's at least something to write home about. The weird thing is that the current position that's currently in play for Sociable. He's in their spawn, maybe not knowing how many players are there, but they are still checking.
No charges left.
Whoops.
For everybody on the other side, and well, Levin is doing the business. He even wants to try and make this a little bit easier for Yetterjay.
Yeah, the beautiful thing about this round, Tom, is they knew that there's only one player on A because they saw them all swinging into Profek. They killed the A player, and Levin said, hold my beer, I'm going in, I'm popping the Blade Storm. They're going to taste defeat. Hammering home the confidence.
Hold my
BBL
beer
have.
that I've only legally been allowed to drink for the last couple of months.
Yeah, hold my beer. I don't like the flavor. I feel you, brother. I feel you. Oh, this is a statement.
Hand me my juice box.
Yeah, a little pineapple juice will do you well, I'll tell you that. 11 rounds seem to be secured by BBL. FUT trailing by 6. And realistically, it doesn't feel like they have any hands on any reins. It's all about BBL.
Obviously, I don't want to just put it down to this. I think BBL are playing a great game, but it's always the case. You lose a crazy map like that, and you're just exhausted. Like I think we've seen Zeus almost completely teeter out. Like he's consistently been, if he has a bad map, he never has a bad second. Like he's been consistently one of their best players throughout every series we've seen. He is the worst player in the server right now.
Yeah.
Yumpy had a pretty rough first map, is playing incredibly.
Sensor up.
One off the top fragger in the entire server, 12 assists to his name. This FUT squad picking this map, completely changing their composition. As of right now, I'm sure I'm seeing the value of having Yetterjay on the deadlock, but the rest of the comp is not thriving.
Not at all. No, there are a lot of problems here for FUT. Most of them just the players on BBL popping off. That previous map ran the distance, and like you said, it's very difficult to bounce back. Everyone can sit there and say, oh, guys, doesn't matter. We can win the next two. Yeah.
Well, the FUT
But it's the emotions.
They're speaking to their coach.
That's true.
Well, guys.
Well, guys, I hate you sometimes, Tom. God's sake.
3 hours in, still got the jokes.
That's what we're calling them now, is it?
Yes.
One
No,
suppressed.
the reality
good.
is it's hard to have that emotional reset, and I think that's what it is. The logic in your head is one thing, but the feeling as these rounds keep on clocking up, as you keep getting shut down in early fights. Zeus on the push forward. Oh, this could be it. He catches Yumpy lacking. Beautiful timing, and he only sees one. No need to rotate. They'll stick in position on B, even having the Deadlock utility to back them up, but Adaptations goes swinging early. He falls. Deadlock utility dealt with. Ult activated by Krax. He's been sensational so far. A highlight of the FUT squad, and it's a double up for him. Profek on the lurk. Another staple of this series, especially here on Icebox. He's managed to thread the needle
It's
for
this
one.
duo again.
Zeus goes down. One by one, they're falling. Late play through mid, though. Yetterjay should tip the scales in their favor here. It's Profek down for nothing, and Sociable to do it all. He's got salvos. The time not that far gone. That's going to delay them slightly, but he's caught by the
He actually got Yetterjay. That's absurd.
Luckily, Krax is still going. So that will be no problem to just get that defuse across the line.
Just chilling at the end, a relaxing end to what was a chaotic round. I think, again, like you just see moments where that initial setup to try and put Adaptations into play didn't work, but then Krax just saved them. The late flank from Yetterjay and being able to finally put the Annihilation into play. Wasn't really anywhere for Sociable to go. Interestingly, Sociable's actually going to be the one to pick up the operator going into this round. Maybe somebody he wants to deny, because a lot of the time, okay, we've seen him do it on the chamber
100%.
when he plays Pearl, but a lot of the time you expect that to be Levin or even Yumpy. From what we saw from the 48 rounds on Ascent, he probably picked it up the most.
This has been an incredible series, but the gift might stop giving fairly soon. 5-round cap, a big climb back from FUT, but we saw it on Ascent. We saw that resurgence. Here has a different feel. It's been dominant for BBL so far. The operator coming out, Not able to find its mark just yet, but resetting for that A side. They found so much success here before. Whether it's Levin's entries or Sociable on that op, we need to see Zeus have a strong start to this battle.
Yeah. I think the other danger as well is Profek with a plant is a Viper's Pit. So you have so much available to you. Null Command as well. It could be used to get in, or it could be used, well, never mind. It's going to be used to get in. Space taken, pressure for Yedege. In fact, he's taken so much damage. A couple of extra assists, the easiest assist Yumpy's ever going to get, and Levin taking this deep control. It's expected, it's, well, attempted, but that's almost too easy. The Viper's Pit even going to be used for safety. That safety is not needed! And in-zone flawless with Levin taking over. We saw this versus Koi, and okay, maybe we looked at the opponent and went, you know, he's doing it versus FUT as well. 19 and 12, 18 and 11 for Sociable. The two at the top of the scoreboard once again. And while FUT need 6 in a row, they've done it before, but Mitch, this has looked like a different map.
It absolutely has, and we're seeing as well this level from Levin, the backup he has from Yumpy. He would have been dead to rights from Yedege, but a beautiful position. Had eyes on him for probably 2 seconds. Problem was, his eyes were burning because of the flash that Yumpy threw in. It blinded them completely. He got an assist on both kills on site, thanks to it. And FUT...
And the null, come on.
Yeah, of course, but the flash blinded him.
He's getting the assist anyway.
Either way, but the flash is what made the difference. It's what allowed those players to connect the kills with 6 rounds in a row needed now from FUT, doubling up on what they've achieved so far. It's not looking like this is going to be an easy round at all for FUT to connect with that op still to contend with.
And the buy stinks.
They've 3 players on A, Tom, and I think most likely as time goes on, you're going to want to take that peek. You're going to want to see if there's anyone up around Belt, and if you do, Sociable will be there to greet you.
Still have some faith in Cracks. Playing very well this series so far, this marathon. He was there throughout the lot of it, a backwards dash into the site. I'm guessing that was to avoid whatever flash was thrown, but it hasn't avoided the death toll, and that's going to put the Waylay ultimate available. Mr. Farlin also in quite an aggressive position.
Left.
Them has got to. The surprise, though, is there. The turnaround, and somehow Adaptations wins that battle as well. 2 players remain. Spike not planted. A kill at least for Yumpy, but well, his teammates nowhere to be seen. I don't think there's even any time to get anything done here, and with Zeus in position, yeah, just take the orb and that's it.
Well, even go for the fight. If they take you out, that's great. You get an orb, you have ult off, rip in the next round. You've got economy as well to fall back on. I think it's probably the right call that he's going for. You don't just want to step into salvos, though. You want a chance to rip weapons out of their hands as well. Maybe get that orb for free, but it's not granted. 12-7, 5 rounds in a row now from FUT. Good denial by Zeus on the initial fight. Great mid-control as well coming in from Mr. Fallen. Like you said, that deep push coming in, and it was necessary, especially with those weaker weapons. It bridged the gap, but they have plenty more to do.
A lot of ultimates getting very close, though. Lockdown. Also got the Armageddon, but that's already online on the other side, and we've still got that convergence path set up. I wonder if it's going to be utilized off rip, especially in this tight laneway. It could be almost a freebie, but the one man that might be able to escape it would be Levin. And they're waiting for contact. They're hoping something's given away, maybe a drone put through, but that's gone onto the other side of the map. A lot of potential for the retake, but that read is already there. 2 players rotating from FUT in the direction of A, but this is all a ruse.
Zeus just left B side as well. Let's leaving B that little bit more open. Information now coming in that that's where the hit is. His presence. Magnum's caught Mr. Fallen lacking. The mid control for him good. And he's even spotted Zeus, but Zeus fires right back at him. Ult put into play is going to force it forward. It's Cracks in an awkward position. He was dead to rights if he didn't move, and instead steps into their waiting crosshairs. No follow-up on the utility thrown through as Adaptations wraps around. Great sees too. They're getting a lot done with that utility with Yedege following up. It's all on Profek. He's got his Vandal to play with and a good idea where these players are, but only 20 seconds. No, he spotted one down below. The spray is good, but no idea on the final player. Yetije in there to close it out. The gap down to 4 and a little bit more manageable. What I was going to say, Tom, as well, when it comes to Zeus, it's even more impressive that BBL are able to shut him down like this, considering coming into today, he was first in ADR, he was second to Miniboo in ACS and kills per round, and third in first kills per round. The guy has been leading so many of these stats or competing with some of the biggest names in the world. And then he faces BBL, and it's like his kryptonite.
Yeah, it really has been rookie season. Be it the guy who made his name on the stage last year at the top of the board, you mentioned Miniboo, Zeus, who I think up until maybe last week was top. Like, I think he was top on pretty much everything. It's just that I think some very impressive performances from Miniboo has sort of taken that spot away. I think I remember looking at the top ACS of everyone a couple of weeks ago, and that was Zeus #1, including every other region.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was #1 at least for a bit. I remember seeing the leaderboard. It was put out by the Valley Sports Twitter.
That's incredible.
So he's definitely been having a display in previous weeks, but this week it's not quite been the same. I think BBL have done a very good job of shutting him down. I think also just the way that Levin plays, it's so unconventional that you're going to have fights when you don't expect fights. And like when you're the team that causes the surprise, it's great. When you're the guy getting surprised every round, oh, it's horrific. Like you're seeing what it's like to basically play against you.
I mean, the reality is the word anti gets thrown around a lot. And I think sometimes unwarranted. Sometimes it is just a comp that works against your comp, not planned out for you. But I think BBL is a different kettle of fish altogether. Zeus opening, as there'll be no anti to his early aggression this time. He has caught them lacking. And with Sociable down, you're losing some of that displacement utility, some of that information on the drone. They go in together, though, looking to take these fights. A wrap around on the B site gets Profek 1, but he's soon to fall, surely. On the site of A, a lot of presence taken, but they've lost everything on B. The thing is, they know Profek's there. They're waiting for him to wrap around, and he has to be quick because Yumpy's all alone.
The wraparound coming around from Mr. Fallen as well. Timing here is perfect. It couldn't be any better. Knowing that that space was completely open once the Sentinel of Magnum had gone down. A quick adaptation from the IGL ultimate not even being needed in the end, and that will be another round on the board. Just like the last map, a hefty lead for the side of BBL, but FUT right at the depths are fighting this one back.
Well, you said it, Tom. They've done it before in just the previous map. 6 in a row, and we're halfway there. FUT, they seem to be doing more than just living on a prayer. They're making this comeback a reality. But for BBL, there's always that extra level to go to, and mainly when you see Levin has got a... Oh, that took it away just in time. Levin's got a Blade Storm. Early fight sent in by Zeus, and it's Levin to return a kill. In fact, there wasn't one dealt out. He's the one just fighting it from the get-go. Like I said, you see the Blade Storm online, you start to panic, and Profex lurks again, getting up to no good around middle.
God, this is such a big advantage now. They need a hero, and there's no hero to be had. Zeus down, lockdown for safety, but there's nobody here. The Viper's Pit was placed on the other side of the map. That was being held by the captain. Yetije is already stuck on the middle of the map, and there's still a lurk. There's still a player sitting behind Profek, and his timing has been impeccable all the way through this map so far.
Out of captain, good for one. That lurk might be needed, but Yetije's the one to shut it down. Okay, FUT, I see the game. They're right back into it. And remember how we got to OT. It was Red Bull clutch after Red Bull clutch. For BBL, their utility is keeping the clock in their favor. Salvos online as well. Infinite delay, it seems, for this squad as FUT desperately trying to get this defused to half, but it's just not happening. Swing through, and it's there to greet them. It's Sociable all alone, and Yetije to put him in the dirt. They have managed to salvage success from the depths of defeat, and we go at least one more round.
They really don't want to lose this game. People are talking about this as, it might just be for seeding. You know, if Liquid win, it will be between the two of them. They'll just get a different matchup depending on what goes on in the other group. But you could tell for both of these squads, Turkey versus Turkey, the pride of the country on the line, that neither team wants to lose this game. And for FUT already having defeat 25-23. You could forgive them for clocking out. I will forgive them for clocking out. But even in that scenario, what, a 2 versus 4? They were still happy to battle.
Unbelievable for FUT to come out on top with that round, Tom. I was certain that's the end, but then I thought back to the previous map, to how many times we thought, oh, well, here it is. Time to get the lunch orders in. But, well,
lunch?
No such thing.
But what time zone are you in?
You know when I wake up, Tom. You know when I had breakfast when I got here.
My 8:30 lunch.
Yeah, well, I'm living on this time zone. I'm ready for another 7-hour series. No hassle. That'll bring me to dinner time. Push up in mid, but look at BBL. They've got themselves... I mean, okay, first of all, look at the position in mid from the attackers. Look at where Zeus has gotten to, containing so much information. Oh. Magnum's got 2 from this position. Yedajay with the closest range ult I've ever seen, using his ult like a shotgun. Zeus, having pushed through, now catches them off, and it's a messy round. At least from the side of BBL, they'll think that. But well handled by FUT. They set the dominoes up and watch them fall, with Sociable left with 3 to pick up. Zeus, the first point of contact, and he hammers that shot home. 12-11. They needed 6 in a row, and we doubted them. The fools that we are. FUT are now just 1 away from another OT. And God knows, it can go anywhere from there.
How many OTs was it?
Let's relax.
That might be William's
12.
toughest job, of just counting how many OTs there were to put that on the screen. If we get there, I'd like to know. 5 in a row. Yedajay said, like, when you look at that switch up going back to the Sentinel, he's someone that we love seeing within that role, and he's been impressive. And the thing is, it was almost a trap play on the other side, like a solid flash that gets, again, a multi-frag of openers, but his reaction, not only using the ult to pick up one, but then to be able to quick switch and take the fight on the other. A pause that gives chances to either side to vocalize, because this wouldn't be the first time BBL have crumbled, and they do not want to add another overtime to the tally.
Well, the Turkish Derby, an event that happens once per year, so far at least, in VCT partnership.
They are both in playoffs.
It's been 2-0, exactly, 2-0 to FUT each step of the way. But now BBL, they've already taken a map. We came into today asking who would be the kings of Turkey when FUT have sat on that throne. Can we
just settle on both?
At this point, Tom, it's a close-fought battle. Enemies at the gates of both city, but the reality is it could come down to just this round here. BBL, a Viper's Pit, and Rifles. Their opposition, 2 ultimates with another very close by. You might favor FUT in this scenario. But you know what I'd favor?
Overtime.
Another tech pause.
Oh, okay.
Because they're all stood still, and it's making me suspicious.
No, they're fine.
Well, Sociable's holding an angle I haven't seen held before. Oh, he's moving again.
No, I think he was just getting ready.
I think he genuinely unplugged something by accident, but he's ready to go. It's a 2-second delay.
Seems like.
One suppressed.
You might be right. But the spike is still going in the direction of the site.
They're going to go for this B hit.
A chance on the cross for Adaptation.
Poison's off.
Just jump spotting, but with the ultimates they have, over-facing here doesn't really seem worth it. He can look to try and buy time. Magnum's lurk could be so important. In fact, yeah, he's got support. He can sell the idea that maybe only one player is in this position, but they're already huge. It's 2 openers. Mr. Farlin needs to trade, and he gets nothing. Leaving now, Yedajay and Adaptation. They want to try and get back into position to maybe bring back Cracks, but it is patient on the other side. And they don't even know that there's a second player. The timing is everything, though. Yedajay has been able to get that pick. Once again, bringing it into the realms of possibility. Viper's Pit in, immediately drops drops one, and now all that stands in their way is Yetajay, and he won't be able to do it! For the first time in the partnership era, BBL are victors in the Turkish derby.
We wondered who'd sit on that throne, a throne that FUT have always occupied, but now BBL, they claim their crown. A tight matchup, the longest match in history to start us out. 13-11, a bait of OT.
Blood, sweat, 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 and maybe a few tears. It really was a series that felt like it lasted a lifetime. And of course, for both squads, they have made their way to the playoffs. But in this case, for BBL, there is an opportunity to end up first in that group.